Hello, class. We're about to start Chapter 3, Lesson 1, Ratio and Proportion. Now, it tells us that a ratio compares two numbers. You can write a ratio using the word to, using a colon, or using fraction form. Let's take a look at example 1. Example 1 states, a softball pitcher strikes out four batters for every one batter that she walks. What is the ratio of strikeouts to walks? Always write the numbers in the ratio in the same order in which they appear in the question. We want strikeout to walks. So strikeouts, it tells us that for every four batters, strikes out four batters and walks one. So that's how we get 4 to 1. Then we have 4:1. Then we have 4 divided by 1. Now, because we're dealing with a ratio, you do not rewrite 4 over 1 as 4. You just leave it as 4 over 1. That's only with ratios. Now it says here, ratios are similar to fractions. They have two terms and they can be simplified by reducing to lowest terms. Frank manages a small drugstore. During a 2-hour period, he counts 25 cash sales and 15 credit card sales. What is the ratio of credit card to cash sales? Number one, write the ratio as a fraction with the terms in the correct order. Credit card to cash sales. So what we would do here, we would write this as a fraction. So we do credit card sales, which is 15, and then we do cash sales, which is 25. So it's 15 over 25. Number two, reduce the lowest terms. 15 over 25, we could divide the numerator and denominator by 5, and we would end up with 3/5. So the ratio of credit card to cash sales is 3 to 5. Now, there are some fraction rules that ratios do not follow. Do not change a ratio that's an improper fraction to a mixed number. Also, if a ratio in fraction form has a denominator 1, do not write it as a whole number. Leave it in fraction form. But there's one other thing, unless the directions tell you otherwise, you still have to simplify the fraction. So you still do simplify. You just would not rewrite it as a mixed number or as, if it's in fraction form, you would leave it as divided by 1 if that turns out to be your answer. Now, another important difference is in the use of labels. The terms in a fraction have the same unit labels. 5/6 of a pie means 5 slices out of 6 slices. Ratios may have different labels. The sale advertised 6 cans for $1, which is a 6-to-1 ratio. So it's 6 cans for every dollar. To write a ratio, you may need to perform one or more basic operations to find one of the terms. It says a football team won 12 games and lost 8. There were no tied games. What is the ratio of games won to games played? Okay, the problem does not tell you the number of games played. The number of games played are the games won plus the games lost, which we have here. So it's 20 total games played. Now we will write the ratio. We want games won, which is 12, divided by games played, which is 20. So we have 12 over 20. We could divide both by 4 and have 3/5. The team won 3 games for every 5 games it played, a 3 to 5 ratio. Okay, now we come here to the problems. It says write each ratio as a fraction and lowest terms. So now it says Stan made 24 sales in 6 hours. What is the ratio of sales to hours? So if you look here, we have sales to hours because they want us to write this in fractional form. It's 24 sales and it's 6 hours. So now we have to simplify this, but we still want to leave it in fractional form. So we divide the numerator and denominator by 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. So your final answer would be 4 over 1. Okay, number 2. Now remember, we only leave this as 4 over 1 because we are doing ratio and not regular fractions. Number 2, Carol's monthly take-home pay is $1,500. She spends $250 a month on food. What is the ratio of food costs to take home pay? So we have food costs to take home pay. So food costs is $250 a month, and take home pay is $1,500. Now we could divide both of these by 250, and this would give us 1/6. Okay, so number 3. It says a toy rocket travels 180 feet in 15 seconds. What is the ratio of feet to seconds? So let's see, we want the ratio of feet to seconds. So we would take the 180, which is the feet, and then the 15 seconds. Now we could divide both of these. I believe both of them divided by 15. 180 divided by 15 is 12, and 15 divided by 15 is 1. Okay, now number 4. It says at Fields Work, there are 12 part-time workers and 18 full-time workers. What is the ratio of part-time workers to total workers? So first of all, let's find out how many total workers it is. It's 12 part-time and 18 full-time, which will give us 30 workers. That is the total. Now we could do our ratio. We want the ratio of part-time workers, which is 12, divided by total workers, which is 30. 12 and 30 both have 6 in common, so that would give us 2/5. Okay, number 5. Juanita drove 336 miles on 14 gallons of gasoline. What is the ratio of miles to gallons? So we take 336 divided by 14. So that's the miles to gallon. So now, right here, we had 2 even numbers. We could divide them by 2. We have 7 in our denominator. 2 goes into 336. Let's see, 168 times, I do believe. Yeah, 168 times. So we can see if 7 goes into 168, it actually does. So we could divide both by 7. Our denominator here would be 1. 7 goes into 16 twice, and we had 2 left over, and 7 goes into 28 4 times. So it'd be 24/1. Now, we come down here to B. It says, choose the one best answer to each question. Questions 10 through 12. Refer to the following information. 3 candidates are running for mayor. Below are the results of a survey of 600 registered voters. What is the ratio of Mesa's supporters to Stockard's supporters? So Mesa is 180 and Stockard is 220. So now, if you notice, they give us multiple choice and it's written as a colon. So whenever we have it written as a colon, it's still the same thing as a fraction. So let's do the fraction first. We could divide both of these by 10, and that'll give us 18/22. We could divide both by 2, and this would be 9/11. Now, when you want to convert a fraction to the colon or 2, or it's fraction, colon, or the word 2, you still set this up. The top number goes first, whether it's colon or the word 2. Then you'll put the colon here, or we were doing 2, you will put 2 here, and then the denominator would be the second number. So our answer here would be A. Okay, that's actually, I made a mistake here. That's actually number 10, not number 6. That's actually number 10. So we go to number 11. Now it says here, what is the ratio of voters who preferred Mesa to the total number surveyed? Now we're told that the total number surveyed is 600. So we would take Mesa, which is 180, and divide that by 600. So now we divide both by 10. and we had 18 over 60. We could divide both by 2, and that would give us 9 over 30. So we'll write this out as 9 colon 30. Oh, and they actually had the word 2. So it'd be 9. Oh, actually, we could simplify this again. So I stand corrected. We could divide both of these by 3, and that would give us 3 over 10. And so we know if we wrote this as a colon, it'd be 3 to 10, and then the word 2, it'd be 3 to 10, which would be B. Okay, now we come here. Now it seems interesting because I didn't see that they was directly across with the numbers. I thought they went straight down. But we could go back up here to problem number 6. It said Lynn estimates that a roofing job will cost $1,500. Bo estimates that the same job will cost $2,400. What is the ratio of Lynn's estimate to Bo's estimate? Lynn's estimate would be 1,500 divided by Bo's estimate, which is 2,400. And we need to simplify this. Since both of them end in 2 zeros, we could divide both by 100. So this will give us 15 over 24. 15 and 24 both has 3 in common. So we'll divide both by 3. And this will give us 5 over 8, which is our final answer. Because this problem here requires us to write it as a fraction. So number 7, a basketball player attempted 32 free throws and made 20. What is the ratio of free throws made to free throws missed? So we need to find out how many was missed. So we'll take the total amount of free throws that were shot minus how many were made. 32 minus 20 is 12. So it was 12 that was missed. So we will go with the free throws made, which is 20, divided by the free throws missed, which is 12. So we'll divide both of these by 4, and that will give us 5 over 3. And we're done with number 7. Number 8. There are 10 men and 14 women in Kathleen's math class. What is the ratio of women to the total number of students in the class? So we got to add up all of the students. 10 plus 14, that's the total amount of students. So we want the ratio of women, which is 14, over the total amount of students, which is 24. We divide both of these by 2, and we add 7/12. Okay, number 9. To paint his apartment, Alex bought 6 gallons of paint to cover 1,440 square feet. What is the ratio of square feet to gallons of paint? So you would take this 1,440, which is the square feet, and you add 6 gallons of paint. You could divide both of these by 2, and this will give us 720 all over 3. Now 720 and 3 both has 3 in common. We could divide both by 3. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 720. We'll have 2. 3 goes into 7 twice. So that'd be 6. And then that'll leave you 12. 3 goes into 12 4 times. And then a 0. So it'll be 240. Now you could have went off to the side and took 3 into 720. So that'll be 2. 7 minus 6 is 1. Bring down your 2. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring down your 0. 3 goes into 0 0 times. So that's how we get 240. So it'll be 240 over 1. Okay, now we come down here to problem 12. Problem 12, it says, what is the ratio of undecided voters to voters who have made a decision? So we go back to this chart here under B. So undecided voters is 150. So we want the ratio of undecided voters to voters who have made a decision. So what you do to find out how many voters made a decision, you would take this 600 and subtract the undecided voters from it. And then that would tell us how many made a decision. So we'll borrow 1 from this 6. The 0 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. So it's 450 that haven't made a decision. So we'll divide both of these by 10, and that'll give us 15 over 45. 15 and 45 has 15 in common, so this would be 1/3. So your answer here would be B. Now, 13. 13, we have Soan or Sohn made a $400 down payment on a washer and dryer that cost a total of $1,200. What is the ratio of the amount Sohn has paid to the amount he still owes? Now, first we need to find out what's still owed. So that would be 1,200 minus 400. 1,200 minus 400 is 800. That's how much is still owed. So we'll look at the amount that's been paid already, which is 400, divided by the amount owed. Now 400 and 800, we know both of these can be divided by 400. So 400 divided by 400 is 1, 800 divided by 400 is 2. So we know that that's also written as 1 to 2. So 1 to 2 is C. Okay, last but not least, problem 14. It says a team played 77 games and won 56 of them. There were no tied games. What is the ratio of wins to losses? Now, they didn't tell us how many losses we have, so we have to figure that out by taking 77 minus 56. 77 minus 56 is 21. So they want the ratio of wins, which is 56, to losses, which is 21. 56 and 21, they both can be divided by 7. 56 divided by 7 is 8, and 21 divided by 7 is 3. So they use the colon, so it'll be 8 to 3, 8 colon 3, and then the one that has 8 colon 3 is D. And that is it from this lesson, and I will upload this to YouTube, and have a wonderful day.